Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing a commentary over a run where I got 1009 scrap on solo Eclipsed Titan, which I know is lower than my 1106 record, except I still wanted to upload this run because it had a dog, giant, and a worm outside of the facility, which I think is more like demonstrative of skill rather than luck, like the 3 dogs I had on the record. And some people were wondering how to deal with giants and stuff. And so it'll showcase some of the tech I know on that. Another reason I wanted to upload this run is to popularize the solo Eclipsed Titan only challenge, which is where you download a mod to make Titan always eclipsed. And I think that's probably the hardest challenge in the game right now. Like, that's relatively vanilla, because it requires you, with the increased spawn rates inside of the facility, requires you to have good decision making and also know how to deal with the outside mobs as well. And most people on Eclipsed Titan are relatively inexperienced because it's just like so annoying. So I just want to showcase how, like, my thought process while I do these runs. So off the bat, I hear a giant on like my left, except I don't see him. So as long as there's like not a giant like right here or on the staircase, you're kind of free to just immediately go to the staircase and book it. And then I looked up there just to make sure there wasn't a dog. I look up here as well just to make sure there's not any dogs blocking my path. I check this staircase whenever I climb this ladder just to make sure there's no dogs here. Dogs cannot naturally path up to this upper region unless you make noise. So if there's a dog on the staircase, you want to be extra careful about making noise up here. Here, you see me spamming scan a lot, and that's just to make sure I don't see any, I'm sorry about these artifacts, by the way, this is VLC. But, I spam scan a lot just because some loot can glitch in this little structure right here. And same thing with turrets. And if there's a turret here, that's pretty bad news. You want to be careful because it can shoot through the stairs. You see that I closed doors behind me, and that's just because of bracken. You can hear the bracken open the doors behind you. And bracken on solo is like less harder to aggro, but more of a threat in general because he's always going to be chasing you and you only. You'll see throughout the video that I'm doing the, I'm like breadcrumbing my loot. And that's just because it's like the more efficient way to loot, instead of taking the loot back every single time for every single thing. It also helps for navigation, so just knowing your way back. Also, another thing besides closing the door behind me is just I flick back a lot. That's just because of bracken paranoia. He can really sneak up on you a lot of the time. I learned that just from a bunch of freaking bracken deaths. Here I get unlucky with the storage room. It has no loot. Except it does kind of make up for the fact I got pretty lucky with the 2 lamps in that other room. Here I end up running into the bracken. So I know there are some structures you can get on where the bracken cannot reach you. And so I thought this right here was one of those structures. Except you actually can't mount onto this, but I tried 2 times and I fail. And I realize that you can't. But it's okay, because with the extra stam I got from the bracken, I mean not the bracken, the thumper biting me, I'm able to get away. And then I decided to leave the loot behind because like the bracken's still on me and I risk death. And also if I just leave, I can kind of bank on the fact that the thumper's just gonna like roam away. And I'll be able to get the loot later. In hindsight, I did miss like a coffee mug in that corner. There I do see the bracken. So I know I'm like safe for a couple of seconds to roam this labyrinth. The labyrinths with brackens, they're like pretty risky. Not just because he can like sneak up on you, like if you turn a corner too quickly and a bracken's like right there, despite like literally staring into his soul, he can still kill you just because you're like right up on him. And so generally I don't like to path through labyrinths with the bracken on me. But I'm just trying to find any immediate loot. Also with the nutcracker, I didn't want to keep going. Here, I think I did see the bracken there. Just from that single flick back. And yeah, you see the mug again that I missed. Here, I'm just coming back, checking for my loot. To bring it back to the entrance. I was gonna loot that, but there was a landmine right on it. Now I just decide to loot the other side. I think the scanner bugged out there. So there, yeah, I especially knew like the bracken was gonna be like somewhat close, so I was just looting with my back towards where he wasn't gonna be. And here, whenever I loot, whenever I drop stuff off this ledge right here, I keep stuff that makes noise and just one two-handed. The rest I drop off because the two-handed is just for I can do the trip. Like the last trip, I want the two-handed with me. And the noisy loot, I want it with me so I can silence it up there instead of silencing it like at that spot where I dropped it down. His dogs are gonna be down there. Here I'm checking for the thumper. I see that he ran right past me, so I'm gonna go this way. Here I'm thinking like the thumper AI, he usually like paths back. And so I'm thinking he's gonna path back and I can just like jump over him and leave him in this like corner region. Except he actually just doesn't end up pathing back towards me, so I'm just like waiting for nothing. And I decide to just go ahead and get the loot. I try to pick up the heavy items so I don't have to worry about it later. Just get it out of the way. Here I see the bracken is right by the fire exit. And I don't know how far that goes, so I don't want the bracken to be like right up on me, so I decide just to leave. And hope the bracken will like roam to a safer location whenever I come back. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a trip. You'll see this route I do a lot. where I'm just like falling onto this ledge, and then this safe spot right here. This spot is like safe from basically all monsters, except I'm not sure about worms. The giant can't get you up here, as well as dogs. So here I'm just waiting for the giant to just path away. And once it paths away, I'm safe to just jump down. Here I do the crouch sprinting, but sideways. Crouch sprinting as like a form of tech. It is cheesy, I saw that in the comments. Except among like the high quota community, it is considered like, it is generally accepted as legit. The only tech that isn't really legit is like clipping through like the apparatus clip and like other like more game breaking things. I find crouch sprinting makes the game like a lot more fast paced, and then just like crouching everywhere whenever there's dogs. That's kind of slow and boring in my opinion. And it's also like not entirely free to pull off. Like you still do gotta make sure like you don't mess up the rhythm at all, because one step can lead a dog to your location. So there, I'm just waiting for the giant to get in like a farther spot so I can more like safely go to the ship. And then I also am like scanning just to make sure that whenever the dog comes up, I'm aware. So there I see like the dog's coming up, so I don't have much time. And I saw the giant walk away further, so I just make the jump. There, I know the giant's on my right, and so I'm waiting to see if he saw me like drop down or if he's gonna aggro onto me. But he doesn't, so I just decide to go to the other staircase since there's a dog on the close one. Here I run into the worm. Except as long as I make it to the staircase, I'm fine. Then we're back at fire. So I'm waiting to hear the thumper. I think I hear the thumper like immediately close. Yeah, I hear it like behind me, so I decided to just go ahead and go get the loot. There I see the bracken has actually relocated, so I'm kind of safe near fire. Yeah, I realized that the thumper still isn't aggroed on me, so I still got more time to get more loot. I end up finding these two things right near app. And yeah, now I'm just free to leave. You will see me always, whenever I leave fire, I always check for dogs, like, immediately close. Like here, I flick back, just to make sure there's no dog right there. Because you do gotta be careful about getting insta-dogged as soon as you leave the fire. Of course, I know there's one more two-handed, so I dropped that one. Also know there's 3 more small items, so I can drop all my small items. Here, I also realized I already have a clown horn, so I can drop the one I have. I do the same route as before. I drop onto the ledge, and then this safe spot. The reason why I aggro the dog in this case is because the dog roaming like below the closest staircase to the ship makes it really annoying whenever you're trying to like dodge the giant. And if there's a dog on the staircase as well, like Usually I want the giant, usually whenever like I'm pathing the giant, I want to immediately run to the staircase and up it. And if there's a dog right here just chilling, that makes it like impossible to do. And so I need that dog to be up there. Like here I'm waiting to see if the giant will aggro on me. I don't hear the giant like immediately close and he's not aggro on me, so I just go. And I could not just immediately run up this staircase if it wasn't for the fact I aggroed the dog all the way up there. And here I'm just doing a trip back with that. Here I was going to jump off, except I heard that the giant, and I got the visual sound effects. I mean, the visual effect that the giant was chasing me. And so I'm just waiting to jump until I see that he's like past the staircase. And here I do tech where if you stand on the left region of this ship, the giant will pass towards the left side of the ship and right like against this wall. And once his hand is clipped through the wall, he's at a safe distance for you to just immediately run to the staircase, which I do. And usually if you run up that staircase pretty fast, the giant will be like lost for a second. So you can just wait. Here I messed up my crouch sprinting and the dog actually heard the sound like right over here. And so I kind of like need to leave immediately or else I can risk the dog just like randomly charging into me. I see the giant just chilling there, so I can just jump off and leave. And yeah, that's the run. I just wanted to showcase how I deal with giants. And especially dogs as well. Giants and dogs can be really painful to deal with at the same time. But if you play well, it's pretty low risk. It's just hard to pull off. If you enjoyed this commentary, please let me know if it was useful, obvious, or trivial. Also let me know. I may do more of these, depends. Peace.